Biggest game for the year of the Cowboys. I want to start with this. Let's give credit where credit is due. The Cowboys right now don't just have two great young linebackers in Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. Leighton Vander Esch is the best linebacker in football. He's Brian Urlacher. You didn't watch him in college? He's Brian Urlacher. He's the best linebacker in football. And they have the best tandem linebackers. I mean, Drew Brees had never gone 0 for 4 to start a game. Drew Brees got shut out in the first half. Drew Brees could only have the ball for 23 minutes. Let's give the Cowboys defensive front seven, which we told you early last year when they beat San Francisco. I said, this front seven's good. Now they've added Leighton Vander Esch. They've added him. Jalen Smith is now healthy. That front seven is out of this world good. And that's no big surprise. We all knew it was good. We've been saying that on this show for 2 years. It's now really good because they have the best young linebacker in football, and I would argue he's the best linebacker in football. But let me just tell you something. This is starting to look like Tim Tebow and the Broncos, folks. There's one way to win for Dallas. It's got to be low scoring, got to be at home. The defense has to be great. You got to make your field goals. This is starting to feel like the Tebow. This is starting to feel like the Tebow Broncos. And by the way, before you push back on that, you remember how crazy everybody went with Tebow. You all convinced me, or you tried to convince me that Tebow thing was going to last forever, and I kept saying Saturday Night Live was doing skits on it. Like they don't even like sports. Like you had to win one way. Like Tebow would, and I'll tell you the similarities here. By the way, Dak doesn't throw downfield. Dak needs a great running game. Dak has no pocket awareness. Like Tebow, Dak leads the NFL in percentage of dropbacks that he's sacked. Tebow led that too. By the way, there's a fumble issue. Tebow had a major fumble issue. He led the NFL in fumbles for a quarterback. Dak leads the NFL in fumbles for a quarterback. That is not a small thing. He doesn't throw many picks because he doesn't throw the ball down the field. Either did Tebow. I'm saying a lot of the similarities. It was week 9, Denver and Tebow. They had a great defense. They made their field goals. They had a good schedule. And it was, it looked really, really good. Everybody's like, oh, my God. By the way, what did I call Dak when he came out of college? I said he's a better version of Tebow. That's what I called him out of college. And everybody went crazy when they were winning. And literally, I used to work at ESPN. It took over the world. The Tebow games would get 3 times as many clicks and reads as even like the Cowboy games, even like the Patriots-Steeler games. This is a better version, a better offensive version. They had a Demaryius Thomas. Now they have Amari Cooper in Dallas. By the way, Troy Aikman talked about the fumble issue. It is now just part of Dak's reality. He fumbles a lot. That was Tebow's issue. A lot of underneath throws, didn't throw downfield, wasn't accurate, fumbled a lot, terrible pocket presence where he got sacked an inordinate amount of times because he couldn't see the pressure. And by the way, Tebow was a first-round pick. Dak was a fourth-round pick. I watched Dak in college, and I kept saying it on and on. I'm like, he's a better Tebow. We're seeing now, everybody's got film on him. Tebow needed a great defense. Tebow needed to be at home. Tebow needed to have his field goal kicker. Tebow needed the rushing. By the way, and I know the Cowboys are winning and you're freaking out, but I saw Mark Sanchez win for 2 years like this. I saw Blake Bortles win last year like this. I saw Tebow go on a 6-game winning streak like this. This looks a lot like the Denver Broncos, where they got the one receiver that Tebow could rely on. They have a great defense, a nice running game, a kicker. The game's got to be close. Dallas has become a team that can only win one way. The game's got to be at home. They got to be close. I mean, they did win in Philadelphia, but they've got to be played a certain way. Zeke has to have a big day. A big day. Field goal kicker got to make their kicks. You can't get in the 30s. And by the way, Greg Cosell talked about this yesterday on the show. This is, and he brings up a very interesting point here. Remedial. That's what Tebow's offense was. It was remedial. Now, again, you can go on winning streaks. Tebow won a playoff game. Dallas could be at home and win a playoff game if they win the division. I'm not saying that. But pen to paper, Dak is about the 18th to 22nd best quarterback in the league, and he's about, as I said yesterday, I said if he won this game, he's getting $110 million. For all the praise we're heaping on the Cowboys' defense, Dallas didn't score in the second half. They score a point at home. And that Saints defense was worn out at the end. They were on the field for 37 minutes. They still couldn't get any. They couldn't get in the end zone. You're looking at the 22nd best quarterback in the NFL. You're going to pay him $110 million. People keep telling me, the future is bright in Dallas. And I'm like, no. The future in Dallas is going to be hard and confusing. Because, by the way, DeMarcus Lawrence, He's on the franchise tag, bruh. You got to pay him big money. Zeke coming up, big money. Byron Jones, corner, guy's outstanding, big money. Amari Cooper this year, big money. You pay $110 million to Dak Prescott, you are not going to be able to resign some of these guys you need. The future is now. It is now. John Elway did not buy into the Tebow shtick. He went out and got Peyton Manning. He's like, I don't buy into this stuff. Remember, Mark Sanchez won for 2 years this way. Bortles almost got to the Super Bowl last year this way. Tebow, who's not an NFL quarterback, better baseball player than a football player, won 6 straight games to beat the Steelers at home in the playoffs this way. That's all I'm saying. This is a remedial offense, and when and for the record, this morning, I know you all hate me. Colin, that was great. It was great. It was great. It was unbelievable. And Tebow beat the Steelers. It was unbelievable. It was crazy. You think the future is great. The future is now. I mean, this morning I wrote down, I was saying to myself, even the Cowboys, by the way, last night sent out Zeke and Van Der Esch in the postgame interview. They knew who won the game. It was a running back and a linebacker. I thought to myself, who are the most important Cowboys right now? I think Van Der Esch has changed the defense. He is the best linebacker in football. He is Urlacher for the Bears. I think Zeke's number 2. I think DeMarcus Lawrence, you tell me who was more valuable last night, Dak throwing underneath routes or DeMarcus Lawrence in Drew Brees' jock all night. Left tackle Tyron Smith, linebacker Jalen Smith, Jason Garrett. I think Dak's about 7 or 8. Rod Marinelli with a young defense, very valuable, 8th most important Cowboy. I'd put Dak 7. $110 million bucks. I mean, you better get a home. You better get a discount, Dallas, because you tell me the future is bright. Now the future is confusing. Because with Tebow, it was confusing. With Mark Sanchez, you're like, it's confusing. And with Blake Bortles, Jacksonville struggled. We don't think he's that good. He's totally limited, but we got to pay him. What are we going to do? The future's bright when you've got Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes. That's when the future's bright. The future's bright when you have Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. But when you're winning this way, Sanchez, Tebow, Dak, Bortles, the future's not bright. The future is confusing as heck. Because you got to now pay a guy $20 million plus a year. Don't kid yourself. Fumbles, doesn't look downfield, gets sacked constantly, has some nice mobility. But again, there's limitations on that. Man, do you think I hate the Cowboys? I thought that was great. It was fun. I work at Fox. It's the highest rated Thursday night game ever. But, this is what we said yesterday. We said if they win, Dak Prescott's agent is walking into Jerry and saying, I want $25 million, 28. What do you say now? They're going to win their division again.
Is it a bigger win for the Cowboys or for Dak Prescott? I would say Dak.
I think Dak. It was a big win for Dak last night. Dallas still, you think Dallas is going to go on the road in Chicago and win? Dallas is going to go on to New Orleans and win? Dallas is going to go to the Rams? I mean, there's so much I like about this Cowboy team. But that future is bright thing, no. It's bright with Goff and Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Luck, Russell Wilson, Wentz. That's the future's bright, okay? Future is darn confusing when you have to pay Blake Bortles $20 million a year. That's when it gets tough. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.